But it is funny to say to a guy with a completely face-concealing helmet, you look like you've seen a ghost.
Yes.
Do I? Okay. I didn't know that was any different. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 6, The Tragedy. Bum, bum, bum. And, of course, the tragedy refers to... Moment of silence, Paul.
Moment of silence.
The Razor Crest. It is no more.
No.
It's literally, there's nothing left. There was the little gear shifter head, and that's it.
That's all.
Oh yeah, and Grogu got kidnapped. But the Razor Crest.
Yes, the Razor Crest.
It's gone.
It's gone. He needs to go to some, spaceship, lot.
Yeah,
and,
little
just
spaceship
go around
eBay.
with his little, like, oh, is this good? I don't know. Let's go to the next one. Screw it in.
Yeah, does the thing fit on there? Oh, okay, we'll take it.
Yeah.
I suppose there's a possibility he ends up on Slave One. I don't know how he would, If Boba Fett has his own show, then obviously Boba Fett will have Slave One. But at the moment, he's on Slave One, so he's like, I'll just take this.
Suggesting that Boba Fett's going to get his own show?
There is, I think, more than a rumor. I think that's a very strong rumor. Let's put it that way.
Oh, all right.
We open Mando and Grogu on their way to Tython. Mando's playing with the little gear shifter, playing catch with him, basically encouraging little Grogu to use the Force. He's training him.
Yes,
he's his mentor.
He's his Force
coach.
Yes, Force coach. Enabler.
Yes. We end with Grogu imprisoned by Moff Gideon aboard his ship. Moff Gideon is taunting little Grogu and stuns him with a stun setting and then puts little tiny handcuffs on him.
Yeah,
little baby handcuffs.
Little baby handcuffs on Grogu.
Now, are those handcuffs
going to be in little dolls that they release later?
Buy your cuffed Grogu today. But are they like Force suppressant cuffs? If that's the case, then why isn't everything made of Force suppressant material?
Yeah, who knows?
No, I prefer to wear my polystyrene armor, thank you. Don't give me the Force suppressant stuff or the Beskar. No, I'm going to be right here in the middle in my plastic. Just on that note, I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, man, the Stormtroopers look more and more useless every episode.
Yeah, see, the answer is more Stormtroopers.
Right.
They were like 10, that's not enough. 30, 40 Stormtroopers.
Like, you thought we looked useless last week? All right, well, hold my blue milk. It's like they were, man, it's like there's got to just be some demoralizing factor with when if you're on the Stormtrooper, you're like a red shirt in Star Trek, where they're just like, look, we want 30 of you to go down there. We don't expect any of you to come back. Good luck. Go get them. Go get them, guys. Man.
And the Robo Stormtroopers, the Dark Troopers, they didn't even bother with them. They didn't even. Like we don't need you. We just need this little thing, and then we'll just fly away.
That's right. We could help you. We could help those few survivors that remain. Thanks for the distraction.
Yeah. Bye, cannon fodder.
Like if I was a human wearing a Stormtrooper outfit, I might think, hey, why don't we use the robots to distract so we can survive? It seems a little turned around, right? Great. The humans are the fodder and the robots get to do the mission. Great. Thanks, Empire, or whatever, post-Empire. They bring out the big, what is it, the E-Web or whatever, the big tripod gun. And Fennec, we'll talk about Fennec in a second, but she pushes, they loosen a rock with their shooting, and then she pushes it over on them. I'm also going to go with the idea of maybe don't shoot uphill. Like if you're on a tripod thing, you're like, there's a lot of loose rocks up there. I'll just shoot uphill. Like, anyway, they needed that captain guy, the guy with the insignia on the side, to be like, guys, why don't we get above them and shoot down? No, no. Anyway, stormtroopers still pathetic, but now we got dark troopers. So
there you go.
Goodbye, stormtroopers. I'll say this: I was at least partially wrong. I mean, I assumed that Tython was going to be end of season. Right. They get right there. They're like, Tython.
Yep, Tython.
I will say that the part of my theory still holds in that I thought that the response to Grogu's call would happen later, and indeed, that is still yet to be seen. Who is going to respond to Grogu?
We don't know.
Grogu sent a long signal. He was on the galactic cell phone for a long time.
Yes, he was. Yeah, they could have thrown in Lily Tomlin. Who would you like to speak to? One ringy dingy.
I'll say that maybe it's a good sign that the cone of communication was blue. You know, it wasn't like a red cone. Okay. He wasn't sending out Sith waves. You know, maybe that's like blue equals, you know, the good Jedi AT&T, whereas if you send out the red cone, you're like, oh, I'm on the Sith.
Do you think that means he's made a decision? Like, you know, when it began, it was like red or blue, and then Morpheus said, oh, which one? Okay, you want the blue. All right, go ahead.
Yes, he took the blue pill, and so everything was just fine.
Not even Grogu wants the red pill.
Slave One shows up. Boba Fett, cool little, I'll say fan service, but a fun fan service nonetheless. Shows up. Mando's like, we got to go, Grogu. And Grogu's having none of it. He's in a trance, essentially. The cone protects him, even from Mando. They didn't show a lot of Tython. It was basically like we saw a hillside. But I did like the little Stonehenge-looking Jedi artifact. I don't know. It looked cool. It felt a little small, but the actual design of it I thought was pretty cool. So
you don't always need to have there
wasn't like a giant village nearby, right? And then like, and then, it was just like there's a hill with a thing.
Apparently, you know, Jedi are very sensitive. You know, you can easily corrupt their teachings. So it's better to have as few humans or any creatures on the planet.
Meditate. I even noticed that Grogu did the little, like, you know, the meditation fingers.
Yeah.
Like, who taught him that? Well, he did learn at Coruscant, so maybe
that's right.
One of the things you learn. You learn the finger thing. We've got Boba Fett shows up, wants his armor, of course.
You know, and he suggests a deal, so he's not like, I'm going to take it from you. You know, he's like, you know, I will barter it back.
Although it was interesting, Mando, once he finds out that indeed Boba Fett is a Mandalorian, he's like, fine. Like, I think
Boba could have said, he could have said, why don't you go get it?
Yeah.
And then I'll show you the proof that I deserve this thing.
Like he did not profess to be a Mandalorian even. Like if Boba
he said he was.
I'm a Mandalorian.
I don't follow any creed. I just follow my own thing.
So it was like, I think that's a line from, he's echoing a line from his dad, from Django, where he's like, I'm just a man making his way through the galaxy or whatever. That was a line from the prequels. But he could have said, and I'm also a Mandalorian. It's my armor. Please give it back to me. I think it would have.
No, that's not. His father didn't say that. So he
can't.
He can only say things his father said. So there you go.
That makes it tough. There was a funny bit where Fennec shows back up. She had been, you know, mortally wounded in season 1. But we saw that someone had walked up to her, you know, dying corpse.
Yes.
It was theorized at the time that it might be Boba Fett. I think we even mentioned that, but I think kind of half jokingly, because I didn't think at the time that it was Boba Fett. But it was Boba Fett.
Yeah.
By the way, it was Boba Fett.
Is that just something the Boba Fett does, is take people who are injured? I mean, what reason, you know, is there to do it in the first place? You know, one of the things I've heard people discuss, I guess, you know, the exact kind of person that Boba Fett is and how this is slightly different than we've seen, you know. someone who would be a bounty and do the kind of things that Boba Fett did initially, and then now where he's pretty honorable. Yes,
I would say he is certainly. He feels more. Maybe he was just done in so badly by
that creature that ate
that Sarlacc, the Jabba. I don't know.
It makes any man take stock.
That's right.
Is getting chewed on by a Sarlacc. What am I doing with my life?
What am I doing? I need to go back and get my GED. This is terrible. So he I don't know if he personally did it, but it sounded like he did. Like he fixed her by giving her cyborg parts.
It seems like that.
So he's got some skills apparently. Yeah.
Perhaps, or maybe he just took her to some place they took Luke.
Sure, took her to Watto or something. Yeah. So there was a funny bit there where Fennec says to Mando, "Well, you look like you've seen a ghost," which it's just funny to a guy in a helmet, right? But
maybe
he can make body motion. You could read nonverbals or whatever, but it is funny to say to a guy with a completely face concealing helmet, "You look like you've seen a ghost."
Yes.
Do I? Okay, I didn't know that was any different. Okay, this episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez of El Mariachi and Sin City,
Spy Kids,
Grindhouse, Spy Kids fame, and it is. I think there was an increased level of violence that I think maybe you can put on Robert Rodriguez. I mean, when Boba is just hacking those guys, those stormtroopers up, and he's just their armor's cracking, and you see them their bodies are splayed. I broke his spine. That stuff that I think that's a little. It's a completely acceptable level of violence, but it is, I think, more violent if I were to put it on a scale of violence that we've seen so far. I think perhaps Robert Rodriguez threw in a little more let's see Boba Fett go to work on these guys.
I suppose. I mean, that's what the script called for.
Yeah. And we got to see Boba Fett do his thing. He gets the armor back. He has knee cannons.
Yes.
Yeah. I will kill people with my knees. Bang, 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 bang.
I think they could have picked a less glamorous place for them. Elbow cannons.
He, gets his moment to shine. Boba Fett takes out a whole bunch of folks. So does Fennec. And looks like they're doing great. Because stormtroopers are terrible. But then it's like the Moff Gideon does, all right, enough of this nonsense.
Yes, in come the
Dark Troopers.
Dark Troopers with their special
pick up Baby
boots.
Yoda, fly away. We see Baby Yoda, Grogu, imprisoned, and he's throwing stormtroopers around and force choking them, which is, we've seen him force choke. He tried to force choke Cara Dune back in season 1, but that's kind of a dark side power there. Anyway, he's throwing folks around. What I didn't get is why he didn't throw Moff Gideon around. Moff Gideon kind of walks in and is oh, that's great. It kind of reminded me of Esposito's character in The Boys, right?
Oh, right.
He's the one non-powered guy, and he's He's having it out with Homelander, hey, Homelander, you'll do as I say. I'm how are you? It's kind of the same idea here.
Yes. Yeah, he's seldom questioned.
So he shows he's still got the Darksaber, which we kind of knew already, but he's see this? Yeah, well, you could put an eye out with this, which maybe is prophetic. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they put the little baby cuffs on Grogu, and
they put him to sleep.
And they put him to sleep.
I'm wondering if what something Din should be considering is just, giving that child coffee.
We do see then Mando, because Boba Fett says, you know what, I'm going to, I'm going with you to get the child back, basically. And so Fennec and Boba Fett are hooking up with Mando.
Yes.
Thankfully, because Mando has no ship anymore, so he was going to be stuck on Tython for a long time otherwise.
Yes.
That'd be great if Boba's well, bye. Yeah. Whoop. Oh, God. Anyway, so they're on Slave One, and they return to Cara Dune.
Yes.
And ask her to look up the information on, I'm forgetting the guy's name, but Bill Burr's character. Bill Burr played a former Imperial sharpshooter who had done that job with Mando back in season 1.
Yes.
And it looks like in the next episode they're going to try to break him out so he can join their heist team to go get Grogu. My guess is they want him because he has knowledge of, maybe Imperial codes, or he can pretend, he can pretend to be an Imperial. If he needs to. Yeah,
Mayfield, maybe he has, with understanding of that, he can engineer the heist. So we have a heist episode.
Right, so we're doing a heist. So that'll be heist. Probably, unless they just get him they just go like a 5-minute, we got him out of prison scene, that would probably be episode 8. The last episode will be the heist, getting Grogu back from Moff Gideon. Hence, there'll also be a showdown. You'll have the showdown moment with the Dark Saber versus the Beskar Spear. Because remember, he found the Beskar Spear in the wreckage.
Right.
So I think that's important for that reason. They will get Grogu back, and perhaps the way they, when all seems lost, the Jedi that Grogu reached out to, whoever that is, will show up to help out. I still say Ezra Bridger is the most likely candidate, but who knows? Who knows at this point? Well, we're looking forward to seeing episode 7, and also come on back for Star Trek Discovery, and coming up very soon, The Expanse.
Yes,
is going to drop
for its final season.
So we'll be covering that. So come on back. Thanks, everybody. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, sir.
Sure.
We'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.